Hey, you guys, just wanted to come with a quick message. I just am in Europe at my son's in Vienna, and the monster is everywhere, by the way. I just had a interesting chat with a woman here who is just riddled with not here's a distinction I want everyone to start noticing if you're ready and if you've got ears to hear this. There's the issue, whatever it is, the specific issue, but there's then the judgment about the issue. So separate that out as best you can. So whatever your issue is that you don't feel like you're good at or that you struggle with. In this case, it's people pleasing, right? So this is a very, very common. Many of you have taken my monster quiz at kimfisk.com and you have I've seen results. The top results are shame and people pleasing, by the way. But here's the thing. That's the issue, is people pleasing. And there's a component of you, and some of you know it very strongly. You've been dealing with that feeling, that tendency, that habit, that cycle, that pattern, all of your life. You notice it, you notice when it's in play, and you know that you don't know what to do about it. And then that leads to the second distinction I wanted to draw your attention to. And this is what happened in this conversation with this woman. She's a people pleaser. She knows it. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't stop doing it. She even gave me an example of a recent example for her where she just gave in to make these people happy in her world. But here's the insidious part, and this is the part I want to draw attention to. It's people pleasing is the thing, but then she proceeded to just beat herself up that she's a people pleaser. There's two things there, right? It's the thing, and then it's what you're doing and calling and saying to yourself about that thing. Because it became then a very deeper or exponential issue. It wasn't just people pleasing now. Now, because she knows better, and this is the interesting, ironic thing about when you learn more, you just give that chatter part of you more ammunition to beat you up with. Chatter knows everything. Your chatter, that voice in your head knows everything you've ever done. It knows every book you've ever read. It knows the seminars you have attended, the courses you've bought. It knows every conversation. It knows everything. And this snuck up on me one time. And I remember having this clear distinction, or clarification about, I got tricked by chatter because, and this is what happened with this woman. She number one knew that she was a people pleaser. Okay. Then she said, but I know better. It doesn't make any logical sense. Why can't I stop it? Why can't I stop being a people pleaser, Kim? I know it came from my when I was little and da-da-da-da-da. She goes, but I just don't have any power over it. I just can't stop it. I suck. Do you hear the two things running? It's the thing. And then it's what she's doing with that thing to beat her up with. If she would just say, yeah, I'm a people pleaser. I see that inside myself. Interesting. That's an observer perspective of it. But when we go into the self-judgment, the self-deprecation, the worthing, like this is what makes me suck, I'm not good enough, blah, 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 look at me, I'm a loser, all of that continued fuel you put on that fire. Yeah, that's, and then she even said to me, she goes, well, okay, then, what can I do about it? I go, well, you're not going to be able to logically, first of all, there's an expectation that you think you can get rid of that voice. You know what, you guys, people pleasing is probably, if not the top survival instinct. You did not have a choice in the matter, by the way. You didn't choose to be a people pleaser. This was not a choice you made when you were a baby. And that's when this started. When you ever look at little babies, and I've noticed this now all the time everywhere I go. Every time I'm around little baby kids, and kids in general, but babies especially, their brain development, their cognition, everything is developing based on what they're seeing. And they've got survival instincts running. Mirror neurons, they're watching. What makes these people happy? Oh, when I do that, go baby, and then and then that baby smiles, or that baby goes, and everyone goes, They're making these millions of connections and associations, every minute or whatever it is. They know what makes us happy. We were programmed way before we had a choice in this matter to be people pleasers. People pleasers there's no judgment about being a people pleaser. It's obvious. It's predictable. Of course we are. Of course you are. The issue is now that this part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex brain, the logical brain that didn't fully develop till mid-20s, you've got that now. But we don't use it because without these kinds of awarenesses, because you don't question it. You don't question it because it's so familiar. And then when you do start questioning it, chatter's right there. No, don't believe any of that. No, you know that you suck. You know that, it's because your dad, blah, blah, blah. It's because your mom, blah, blah, blah. It's got all the evidence of what keeps you stuck, right? And you're not going to be able to change it from thinking differently. Thinking differently, even if you can, won't impact it. It has to be done emotionally, because survival tendencies, your amygdala only cares about how you feel. It doesn't even know what you're thinking. Only if your thought produces an emotion does the amygdala pick up. And the amygdala only picks up for survival reasons, not when you're happy. When you're happy, there's no reason for Amy, I call her Amy in my book, there's no reason for Amy to come to the rescue. It's when there's any kind of disturbance in the force. It's when it's, even the unknown produces this feeling of apprehension, because apprehension is your amygdala's way of saying, oh, watch out. Anything unknowable or different, if you stop saying or thinking or believing that you have to suck for you to stay in the place where you are right now. We're going to make sure that you suck, that you think you suck, that you believe you suck. I'm just using the suck word. But does that make sense? Like, the minute you have a sense of even growing or like an awareness that comes to you that goes, oh, wait, you mean I could be worthy and I didn't know it? Yeah. That's an unknown that part of your brain wants to save you from, because anything unknowable is potentially unsurvivable. It doesn't know the details about it. It doesn't know the logical part of it. It only senses what you feel. That's why the emotional rewiring is so vital. You cannot think your way out of this. You can't read enough books. You can't go to enough seminars. You can't spend money on course after course after course. Maybe present company include, like, I'm throwing me under the bus here. You can't do it that way. It has to be done emotionally. And that's why the exercises we do in Ignite Vision are emotional rewiring. They're not meditations where you sit and just analyze your navel and then, hum. Those aren't what we do. What we do is help you calm down your nervous system and rewire it to a place of the 4 pillars. And that's why the 4 pillars are cerebral. So you're not going to even rewire just by reading the 4 pillars every day or memorizing the 4 pillars. It will help you if it helps you emotionally align to that. So these exercises are ones that actually use your inner senses, use some music, and it's work, actually. You can sleep if you want through it. Many people do in the beginning, but it's actually neuroscience to actually produce using your inner senses to open your heart and to have an emotional experience. And some people, the emotional experience can be a little bit painful in the beginning because you've stuffed so many emotions that you don't want to feel. And what you can't feel, you can't heal, is how the saying goes. So you want to not resist those feelings as they come up, because it's like cleaning out a closet. You got to get it out before you can actually get in there and do the emotional rewiring to that true self that you've always been. You never needed, ever needed to do anything, to prove anything, to be a certain way. You never had to. You were already, but we didn't know that. And this is the beauty of the divine design that we got put into, because we had to know sin. Sin just means separation from God. And that's on us, and our environment we were put into creates fear, creates these divisions. But we had to know the division in order to choose love and to choose light and to choose God. So you had to know sin. You had to know the separation and what that feels like. And that's what we teach here too, is your emotions are your GPS signal. And we have a process where we teach you how to find God, which is gratitude on demand. And you go to that heart and you open that heart. Anyway, this went into a lot more than what I was anticipating. But if you're a people pleaser, you're in good company, and don't make it a more extreme weapon of mass destruction against yourself by beating yourself up for it. Come join the daily practice, and you will start having some repeated experiences, and those experiences produce emotions, and those repeated emotions are what become your reality. Love you.